Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a very exciting 3 looks 1 palette. I know you guys love a 3 looks 1 palette. I am going to be doing a 3 looks 1 palette using the Oden'S Norns palette. I'm so excited to get into this palette. I wanted to do a 3 looks 1 palette because I have so many ideas and I just can't help it. I just really want to get into so many of these shades. I've already done the first impressions, which will be up here and down below as well, so you can see that, but I just have to use all of the shimmers in this palette. I'm pretty much going to use all the shades bar maybe 1 or 2, but yeah, it's just delicious. The whole palette is delicious. This is the first look and you'd be surprised at how dark I got this look considering the colours that I used in here, but having that kind of satin black there really helps me. So we're going to do our 3 looks with this palette and they're all going to be very different colour schemes, very different kind of vibes, but I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a very fun time. I cannot wait to film my other 2 looks. Before we get into our first look, my Instagram is linked down below as well as my TikTok. On my Instagram, I do post all the up close pictures of this look so you can see all my fun kind of shimmers and the kind of how everything looks in detail with up close eye pictures and full face pictures. And on my TikTok, it's just a fun time over there, so go follow me down there too. So before I start rambling anymore, because I know this is going to be a long video because there is 3 looks in this video, let's get into look number 1. Okay, welcome to look number 1. I'm so excited about this. We have to use these 2 purpley shades, these plummy sort of tones. I'm probably going to use the black as well to kind of deepen up. I'm going to do a halo eye, obviously, and I want to see how this, like as a satin, deepens it up. And then this bottom row was just so intriguing and I really want to use this orange in this look, so we're going to have a little play around, see kind of how we get on. I want to mostly focus on this matte in the crease and just use this to deepen it up, so I'm going to start with that shade anyway. But yeah, I'm very excited. I've already got my skin done, my bronzer on, my brows on, and my eyeshadow primer on, which is all listed down below, but I'll let you know what my bronzer is as we get towards the end of the look. So we're going to start with Mist, which is that matte kind of plummy sort of shade, and I'm going to take this on a Cash Beauty K08, so just the small little blending brush from those, and we'll just build this up and see how much purple we can get out of this. So I'm just focusing this mostly towards the outer corner, just taking a little bit at a time and bringing it into the crease maybe a tiny bit, nothing major, but just bringing it in a little bit because this technically is going to be my lighter matte shade, although I want this to be the focus of the look. I'm only really going to use the darker, like the black right in the corners. So I'm going to take that Mist shade again and pick that up in here to start creating our halo effect. Builds up a nice amount, like it's not going to be, I don't expect it to be like a dark purple or anything like that as I build it up, but I want to really focus on this, so that's why I'm using it most in the crease, and just build it up until I'm happy with it. So I'm just going to take, I'm not kind of done building this up, but I just want to blend out the edges. I'm going to take a bigger fluffy brush also from Cash Beauty. This is a K06, just clean, and we're just going to work that around all of the edges here. As I said in my first impressions and every other Oden'S video, the Oden'S mattes blend out fabulously. Just adding a bit more of the purple back in, just in case I blended away too much. But this I think is as dark as it would go. I'm after building it up a good bit there. And this is as purple as I'm going to get it, I think. So we'll start working on the lower lash. Okay, so taking that same shade again, I want to keep with that colour. I want to try and build this up as much as I can. And I'm taking that on also another Cash Beauty brush in the K10 brush, which is a small little stubby brush. And do I want to do a full halo on the bottom, or do I just want to smoke it out? No, I think I'm just going to do it like a matte all the way across. I'm just going to apply this all across the lower lash. A little bit of fallout there from that colour. So just getting it close to the lashes, connect it on the outer corner and build it up, because we will be darkening that with the black as well. And then I'm going to take that first brush that I was using, the smaller blending brush, and just, with whatever is left on it, just kind of soften out the edge so we can still see that purple when we apply the black. So now I'm going to just clean off that smaller blending brush just so I have a bit more control over. I'm going to use this to use with the black, and I'm going to take, so it's called Colourful Black, I don't know why, but it just is, and I'm gonna like just take like 2 little dabs because I don't know how kind of dramatic this is going to be layered over this, and I want to still be able to see all the purples. So just 2 little dabs, and oh yeah, it's definitely going to be there. Just going to focus this in these outer corners. Again, I don't want the black to take over, so just tiny bit at a time. You can always add more, but you can't take it back once it's on. So just adding a little bit at a time, just like that. You can always go back in with a little bit. I'm going to take that big fluffy brush, a little bit more of the purple, and just make sure that we're still nice and purple around here. Oh, I'm really liking how this is looking so far. It's kind of a bit murky and I kind of love it. So I'm going to take 2 dabs again of that Colourful black shade, and on the small brush that we use for the lower lash, I'm just going to start smoking this into my lashes. Again, we still want to see all the purple, just using this to deepen it up a little bit. Okay, very smoky and I'm loving it. So I'm going to move on to shimmers now, but I'm going to use my glitter primer. So I'm going to use the Too Faced Glitter Insurance this time. Taking it on a 239, yes, 239 from MAC. And I'm just going to pop that all over the middle part of this lid to get a nice bit of tackiness going, overlapping it with the mattes on the outer corner. I'm going to do one eye at a time so my stickiness is still there. And then with that same brush I'm going to take Obsessed, which is that like dark shimmery plummy sort of shade. So just picking some of this up, and this is going to go on the outer corners, so like this bit and this bit of the lid, right next to the dark mattes. This is the kind of shimmer where you could get a lot of fallout, but with the glitter primer down it will help. That's really bruisey in the best way possible. I love weird, bruisey, tired looking makeup, in case you can't already tell. That's stunning. Just leaving a tiny little sliver down the middle just for the orange. And for the orange, we're going to take Glamour, which is the orange. And this has like a really cool kind of duochrome. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Kaleidos, I think it's called Easter Egg in the VR Neon. So if you couldn't get that palette because it is discontinued, this is cool orange if you wanted the orange out of it. And this is going to go right down that middle part here. Just start kind of flicking it over the purple on either side just to start blending that in. And then you can take a little bit more purple and just kind of overlap that as well, just to kind of see how your blend is going. Okay, that's stunning. That is so kind of vampy and I love it. Okay, so just clean off that small little brush that I used here. I think I'm going to take Amber Palace, which is that really sparkly gold that I used in my first impressions. And I'm just going to take a small little bit of it. It's kind of marbled with like silver and gold. I'm kind of going to try and get a good balance between the two colours, just a small bit. And that's going to be my inner corner highlight. Just, you could use the shade Pink Chameleon, you could use the shade Optimism, but I think this one with the gold in it will kind of help with that orange as well. And I'm just using a small bit, but I just want there to be like a nice sparkle in here. Okay, so that is pretty much the look done. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. Very smoky, but still purple. That's what I was hoping for. I didn't want the black to take over. I still wanted it to be the plummy shade. That's why I'd love like another matte shade, like a darker version of that purple maybe, just to kind of add it in. But then like you don't necessarily need it because you can kind of get that with just adding the black in. And even though it's a satin finish, it still blends really nice. So I'm going to jump off. I'm going to finish off my eyes, finish off my cheeks, and do my lip. I don't know what lip I want to do. If I want to do a dark lip, we'll see all together. I don't know what I'm going to pick yet, and then I'll be back to show you what I used on my face. Okay guys, so this is how I finish off my look. The eyes, quite simple. All I did was use my sleek twist up eye pencil in the shade Aubergine, just on my waterline to kind of keep going with that kind of lighter purple shade that we used. Then for my mascara, I went in with my Soap and Glory Thick and Fast mascara on my top and my bottom lashes. And then for my lashes, I went in with my Old Reliables. These are the Kiss Look So Natural lashes in the style Flirty. I have a multi-pack, that's how much I like them. And I think these are on their last legs. So I'll be moving on to my third pair, because these ones, yeah, I literally had to trim because bits were falling off and everything. So I think this is the last go I'm going to get out of these ones. For cheeks then, my cream bronzer was my Larizty Shade Stick Contour Stick in the shade Aloha. So I use this to kind of contour up my face. And then for blusher, I wanted to tie in with that orangey tone that we have going on the eyes and here. I unintentionally wore orange today, I don't know why. And it's not this bright of an orange, but sure, look, it's on me now anyway. I used my Benefit Coralista blusher just to give me that real nice orange warm tinge to the cheeks. Then my highlight is my Inglot Sparkling Dust in the shade 07, I think. Pretty sure it's 07, the number is worn off it and I'm pretty sure it's 07, but whatever one of these matches you best because it's super, super blinding. And then for lips, didn't use any lip liner or gloss. I used a matte liquid lipstick. This is the Sleek Matte Me Ultra Smooth Matte Lip Cream in the shade Velvet Slipper. I had a hard time picking a shade for this, and this one, it's a tiny bit redder than I wanted, or like pinker than I wanted. Wanted to be a bit cooler, But I think I did one layer and then I did a second layer, and I think I got to the point where I'm happy enough with it. Yeah, I think that is beautiful. So that is our first look using the Oden'S Norns palette. I'm so excited to get into more looks. I definitely want to do something softer with a pop of dark in it. And I just have to use more of this bottom row. I think I'm going to use 2 more shades out of that bottom row. I'm just so happy with the shimmers in this palette so far. I think they're beautiful. Such a good array of different textures, even just within the shimmers. I'm very excited to get into our second look. So speaking of our second look, let's see what we do for look number 2. Okay, let's get into look number 2 using the beautiful Norns palette. And today's going to be a bit of a weird one. Okay, it's going to be quite a normal look, weird colour combo. So I really want to use Optimism, this one here. Definitely want to go back into Dazed, this one up here. And it's going to be mostly this in the crease and this. I may use a bit of black to deepen it or a bit of brown to deepen it. I'm not sure, I haven't fully decided. And then I want the lower lash line to be super heavy. I'm going to do wing liner and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to get the lower lash line to be super heavy, and we're going to use Passion because I have to use that like metallic satin red, and then also a bit more black probably as well. So that's where we're going with it. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but that's the vibe I'm going for, hence the red. I already have my skin done, my cheeks done, which I'll go through at the end. I've got my brows on, my eyeshadow primer on, which will all be listed down below. I'm very clinky with these earrings on. I can hear them, so I don't know if you guys can hear them, but we're going to jump straight in. So I'm starting out with a Lavender Luxe from BH Cosmetics number 7 brush, which is the smaller blending brush out of that, and we're going to start with Dazed, and I really want to build this up as much as possible. I've used my P. Louise base, which is a little bit more sticky, and it kind of oxidizes the shadows a little bit, so I just want to see how much more pigmented I can get this look. If I went straight in with like the black or the brown, it'll happen what happened in the First Impressions, where it's mostly those colours just blended out with this, but I want this to be like the main shade in the crease. So if I just go over top of it or like deepen this shade up, it means it's still mostly keeping to this shade. It's a very long-winded way to explain that, but there you go. So this is just going to go on the outer corner and the whole way through the crease pretty much. We're not going to do anything like a cut crease or anything like that. I just want to get this shade all around to really define the crease. This is such a weird shade. It's like a grey, green, like a grey sagey kind of colour. I love it though. And I think it's going to match really well with that Optimism shade. Okay, so we're not bringing any colours down on the lower lash line. We're just focusing on the upper lid first. Okay, so I think I'm going to use the Colourful black shade, which is terrifying because of how light this shade is, to go straight in with a black. I'm like, when I say a deb, that's it. That's it. No more. And we're going to start with that, and we're going to see how that goes, because you can always add more. You can always add more. And this is a really good like deepening up kind of black where you can build it really well. And I don't even want it to look like there's black there. I just want a bit more depth in the crease. Like that was more than enough. I don't want any more than that. I'm just trying to spread this around as much as possible through the deepest part of the crease. And then we'll use that Dazed shade then to blend that out again so we don't lose any of that colour. Okay, so now I'm taking a bigger brush from that same Lavender Luxe set. This is a number 5. So just a bigger fluffy brush. We're going to go back in with Dazed and just make sure that this is all lovely and blended and we haven't lost any of that colour, especially around here. I just want this to be really soft on top. I don't want all like the drama to be underneath, but I want the beautiful sparkle on the lid. Okay, I'm very happy with how this has gone so far. This is definitely feeding into the idea that I had. So now I'm going to take some glitter primer. So I'm just going to take this big like flat brush. It's just because I'm not trying to be super precise with this. I'm just going to use that and I'm going to apply my NYX glitter primer to the lid. So I'm applying it with the brush so I have a bit of stickiness on the brush as well, just for the ease of actually applying the shimmer. Okay, so now we're going to take Optimism, which is kind of like a grey, little bit of blue, and it reflects like a lime green. So I'm going to take that on that same brush. I've just wiped off any excess glitter primer that's on it just so it doesn't make it too sticky. And we're just going to apply that to the lid. Ooh, ooh, it reminds me of like a glass slipper. It's almost like a pewter that like reflects green. Oh, I love it. Okay, this is exactly how I wanted this to look. I'm so happy with this. I'm taking a little bit more of Dazed. I'm not taking the black. I'm just taking Dazed on its own. And I'm just going to use that to soften out this line here where the shimmer meets the mattes. I get the feeling that Dazed shade is going to be my most used shade in the whole palette. It's I knew I was going to love it so much and it was so intriguing. Okay, so we're going to work on the lower lash line. So this is where it's going to get weird. This, you could absolutely leave it as this and like do the same mats on the lower lash line. Gorgeous winged liner, and off you go, off you pop. But no, I need to use that red, and this is the way I want to use it. I don't know why, I just do. So I'm going to start with a bit of liner in my waterline and smudge it down because I want the red to stick to this liner. So this is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide on Eye Pencil in the shade Dragon Smoke. It's the one that came out with the Game of Thrones collection. It's just like a black with like a purple and red shimmer in it. I just didn't want to use like a black. This is like a dark purple kind of technically. So we're going to take that in the rim of the eye first. I always like to do this bit first, just so I know where we're going, like a nice little anchor point for us. So like that. Ooh. And then I'm going to do a little bit, not too much. Don't do too much because these blend out quite far. So you don't want to add too much initially. You can always add more. I'm going to just bring it down past the lashes. So I'm going to take another BH Cosmetics brush. This is a number 10 from the Rose Gold set with nothing on it, and I'm just going to buff out that pencil, making sure it's going in between all of the lashes. You can always add more pencil if you start to lose a little bit of it, but I just want this to be lovely and smoky. Okay, so we have this going. I'm only just going to do one eye at a time because I want the stickiness to still be on this side. I might not use the black because I think this might deepen it enough for me. So I'm taking that same brush. I've just kind of wiped off the excess liner. We're going to take Passion, which is like the best way to describe this color. It's just like this beautiful blood red, like satin metallic. I'm picking up a good bit. It's quite hard pressed, so you will have to probably go in a few times with this. Just the nature of that kind of texture. And we're just going to go straight over that liner on the lower lash. So not in the rim of the eye, we're going to leave that alone. So that's how it's looking. It's thick, but that's how I usually wear my eyes underneath. Anyway, I'm going to take a little bit more of that shade Passion. I'm going to take it on a bit more of a fluffy brush. This is a MAC 512 SES. I got it with the Christmas collection, but any fluffier flat brush will do. And just picking that up again and just blend out the edges. So I've changed my mind, taking a tiny bit of that black again. I've literally, every time I've used this black, I've used the tiniest amount. I'm so afraid of like full-on black eyeshadow, even though I wear quite dramatic makeup. I'm going to take a little flat brush like this. This one's from MAC. It's a 212 brush, but any little flat brush will do. And I'm just going to work this into the actual lashes of my lower lash line. It's almost kind of to get a little bit of like a bridge between the liner and the red, because it just looks a bit like a line and a line. So I just want to get us halfway there. Okay, I'm loving this. So we're going to do the same with the other eye. Wait until the liner goes on. Trust me. Trust the process with this one. Wait till the liner goes on and it will look amazing. I'm just going to do my other eye. Okay, so for my inner corner, you could use one of the shades from the palette, but I'm actually going to use my face highlight. I'm going to use my Diamond Bomb highlighter from Fenty Beauty because I love it, and I'm going to use it on my cheeks, and I think it'll go really well with this that we have going on the lid. It's not going to take away from it. It's not going to add another colour. That's what I don't want to do, because this is already weird enough. Plus we're going to add something special to it. Okay, so that's how it looks on the inner corner. So my last little step that I want to do is I want to add a bit of glitter somewhere, maybe out here somewhere. I feel like I have glitters that are going to go really well with this. So I think I'm going to use my Apocalyptic Beauty glitter in the shade Style Shapes. I don't know how to call these. Lon, which is inspired by Lon Chaney Jr., who played the original Wolfman. Little horror history for you guys. It just looks like this, so it's kind of like little moons and stars, and I just think it'll go like the shades that the moons and stars reflect will go really well with the shimmer on the lid, and I just think it'll add a nice little effect. So I'm going to take my NYX glitter primer again because it's just the easiest way. You can use like glitter glue or lash glue if you want to, but it's very like sticky and heavy, so I don't want to like disrupt the texture that we have going on out here. So I'm just going to take a small little bit, just like this much. I'm just going to dibble dabble it just around about here, kind of towards my brow bone. And I'm going to take that same brush I used for the lid shade, just barely anything left on it. And I have a bit of glitter primer still on that, so I'm going to pick up just whatever it picks up and press. So just a little something like that. Just have a little play around. I kind of maneuvered it like picked around like where the moons sit and like the stars and everything like that, but it just adds a bit more like of a magical kind of essence to the look. So I'm going to try and do something similar on this side. It doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of pick up whatever you pick up, and I'm going to finish off my eyes, and it'll look more complete once the liner's on, I'm telling you. Just wait for it. And I'm going to do my lip and everything like that, so I will come back and let you know what I use on the rest of my face. Alrighty guys, so this is how I have finished off the look. I am loving this. This feels to me like a vintage modern kind of style, so it's like a vintage style modernized a little bit for me. I love this so much. Okay, so to finish off the eyes, I use a little bit more of the Dragon Smoke liner just to re-intensify that on the waterline, just in case it got blended away a little bit too much when I was smoking it out. For my upper wing liner, I use my NYX Vinyl Liquid Liner just in black. I get myself a decent wing, a thicker line. Not as long of a wing as you would think for how thick the line is. And then my mascara is my Soap & Glory Thick and Fast mascara. It's what I've been using anytime I film a look, because not my favourite mascara in the world. It works quite well. I love it on my bottom lashes though, and I like it when I'm wearing lashes. For cheeks, we use the Fenty Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzer in the shade Amber, which is just the lightest, coolest tone. And I just use that to kind of sculpt out my face, give me a little bit of warmth. Even though it's a cool tone, it still adds a little bit of warmth. You'd be surprised. By the way, if you're wondering like why I'm so sparkly, like I am very sparkly. I'm never usually this sparkly. I don't usually use like a body sparkle or a body oil. I use the Lush Rose Argan Solid Body Conditioner, which has a lot of gold glitter, and it's not my favourite product in the world, but I use this today. Forgot how glittery I was going to be. Like, I am sparkling. So for my blush, and I also used a cream. This is the Sleek Blush by 3 in the shade scheme of California, and I use the OC, which is the kind of pinkier one, the one that I've hit a bit more pan on this side. I just use that on my cheeks. I didn't want to go too crazy with cheeks because all of this is happening. And then, as I said I was going to use, I did use it. I used my Diamond Bomb highlighter from Fenty on my cheeks. Give me a really wet look, wet and sparkly. And then the lip, I have had a craving to wear these again, and I cannot wait to get more into them. I used my MAC, this is not what I'm talking about, the MAC Burgundy lip pencil, just to line my lips, filled in the whole lip because I really wanted a nice vampy lip. And then I went in with my Kaleidos Cloud Lab Lip Clay. Very long name, but it's exactly how it's described. This is in the shade Dahlia, which is the red. It came out with the Flower Punk collection, I think. It's just like a red shade, and these are really nice. They kind of go on almost like a moussey kind of formula. They completely set down, but they feel really velvety. I love them. And also, little shout out here, it keeps falling down. I'm trying to pull it up because I want it to be up nice and high, but I'm wearing my Even Stars necklace. A la Lord of the Rings, a la my boyfriend got me this for Christmas 2 years ago, and it's still one of my favourite things he's ever bought me. I love it. Okay, so that is our look. I am so happy with how this turned out. So the next look is going to be more different again. Like, they can get such different looks out of this palette, and that's what I'm loving about it so far. So the next look, I think we're going to get more into these fun colours out of them. I know we already used the orange, but we might get into like the purple to green kind of duochrome, maybe the green to purple duochrome. I think they might be cool together, so we're going to do something with those. So let's see how we get on in look number 3. Alrighty, so we are going to get into look number 3 using the Norns palette, and I have to play with more of these shimmers on the bottom row. I just have to. So I really want to use Hallucination because it's like this beautiful like ocean green sort of shade with like a purple kind of reflect off it. And then I think I was going to use Self because that's like a purple with a slight like minty sort of reflect, but I'm actually going to use Charming because I love the tone of this one as well. They're just so beautiful and shifty, and I cannot wait to use them. Probably going to use Outsider, the dark teal, because I haven't used that yet. And I'm probably going to use my favorite shade in the whole palette, which is Days, which is the most blank looking shadow, but I think it's so beautiful. I think that will be a super pretty look. We're just going to do a simple eye, just the shimmers on the lid, dark matte in the crease and all that kind of jazz, and dark matte on the lower lash. Probably going to add a glitter because I have a glitter that matches these colours, and I think it'll be really fun. So that is it. I already have my skin on, my brows on, my eyeshadow primer on, which is all listed down below, so you can see that there. And we're going to jump in. So we're going to start with the shade Outsider, which is that matte teal. I'm taking that on a Makeup Geek defined crease brush, just a small little smudgy crease brush. And I'm taking that on the outer corner, so we can start building this up and see how dark I can get this. So I'm taking this all the way through the crease from the outer corner, and I'm just building it until I'm happy with it. It's really nice. It kind of has a really strong blue tone to it, which I think will be beautiful with these shimmers. I think I'm going to keep it quite rounded. I just kind of feel like that today. Okay, so that is a Mermaid Dream. Now we're going to take Days, which is that beautiful greyish, greeny, like a very pale khaki almost. And I'm taking that on a Inglot 6SS, which is a giant fluffy brush. And I'm just going to use this to blend out the edge of the darker shade. As I've said 100 times, and I've probably said it 100 times in this video, the Oden'S mattes blend out beautifully. And I feel like this shade is my most used shade in the palette because it's so great for blending out all these tones. You'll see it in all the other looks. You've already watched it. That it literally works with everything to blend out. See, it just blends it out so well. And then you can just add more of your darker shade if you need it. So then going back in with Outsider, the dark teal again. And I'm taking this on a number 7 smoky eye brush, just a really small little pencil brush. And he is going to go just along the lower lash, connecting to the outer corner. And I'm bringing it all the way across. Getting a little bit of fallout here, but I'll tidy that all up as I'm finishing up. Then back into Days, and I'm going to take this brush. This is a domed shadow brush from Real Techniques, like a massive kind of flat fluffy brush, and I'm going to use that, and I want to blow the life out of this down on my lower lash line. So I'm going to take this and we're going to just really get in there, start blending this out. I feel like if you've got quite a, like I've got more of like a neutral yellow sort of tone to my skin, this Days shade is like the perfect transition into your skin because it has that kind of greeny sort of tinge off it. Not that my skin is green, but you know what I mean, it kind of lends into that yellow really nicely. Okay, so once you have a gorgeous grungy blend underneath, because I cannot wait to put a bit of glitter on top of, I might do it like in here or something like that, I'm not sure, we'll have to see. So I'm going to take some glitter primer for my shimmers, and I'm going to go in with my NYX glitter primer, and I'm going to take a Cash Beauty K09 brush, just their flat brush, any flat brush will do. Taking a bit of glitter primer, and we're just going to pop that all over the lid. If the lighting has changed, it's because the sun came out. My blinds are closed, but the sun came out and I can still see through them. So I'm a little bit washed out, but that's fine. So I'm going to take, what will I take first? We'll take Charming first, actually, the kind of more periwinkle sort of shade. So this one's like a deep kind of blue with, not deep blue, like a bright blue, and a purple reflect off it, and that is gonna go on the outer, not the outer, the center of the eye, right next to where the mattes are. And I like to get a little bit of that on, just in the general area that I want it to be, and then I'll go in with my finger on top just to see if that intensifies it anymore. Be very careful with this. I've just almost taken a chunk out of that shadow. It's quite loosely pressed as well. That's the nature though of having multiple different textures in one palette. Like some of them, like the red is very hard pressed. Same with the Pink Chameleon, which is like the multi-chrome sort of light shade, is quite hard pressed as well. And then some of them are very softly pressed, which is like this one where they come out a little bit more chunkier, but they're way more textured as well. So then we're going to go in with Hallucination, which is the beautiful like sea foamy green with the pinky purple sort of shimmer. This one's like a thicker, creamier sort of formula. So let's see how this one goes on. So that's just going on the inner part that I left bare with the lid. So just kind of overlapping that now with the kind of more periwinkle blue, but that is so beautiful. It looks like it's giving me a full shift across my eye because it's two different colors, but they have a similar sort of sheen to them. It's beautiful. So I'm going to take a little bit of Charming, the periwinkle shade. I'm just going to press that over where I applied it already, just to give us a good full whack of color. And then the same with Hallucination. Oh my god, it's so different. All these formulas are so different. This is like way chunkier or thicker almost, and creamy. Also, top tip, your little colour switcher thing is great for cleaning your fingers off if you use it for shadow or anything like that. Love it. So now taking a little bit of Outsider, the dark matte teal, and I'm just gonna dibble dabble that all over the edge here, just to make sure we have a nice little blend going. So I think I'm actually going to use my face highlight as my inner corner highlight, but before I do any of that, I want to just tidy up any fall down, and then we can go into finishing the eyes with the inner corner and the glitter. So for my face highlight, because I think this will just match the look a little bit more, I'm going to take, you probably already guessed if you already know what I have in my collection, my Space Age Skywalker highlighter from Kaleidos. This one has that kind of bluey sort of tone to it, and it's just like a white color, and then it just reflects this most beautiful blue. So I'm just taking this on a synthetic, like small brush like this. I think it's from Sleek. And you won't really see like huge amount until it actually hits the light. I just think the other shimmers in this palette is just a little bit too warm, too pink or too gold. So I wanted something that has these kind of nice icy sort of shades. Okay, so the glitter that I'm going to use is from Apocalyptic Beauty. These are not eye safe because they are chunky glitters. Most glitters are also not eye safe. Even if they're cosmetic grade, usually they're still not eye safe. Just because they can get in your eyes and all that kind of stuff. I do have a method to taking them off. I take those off first with a cotton bud away from my eyes, and they are completely gone before I go in with actual makeup remover. So that's the way to take them off if you are going to use them. I wouldn't recommend them for the eyes, but I use them on the eyes. So use at your own discretion. I am going to go in with Fantasy, which is kind of like purple to teal to green. Like hexes, stars, there's like iridescent kind of ones in there as well, big and small. What else have we got? Yeah, just big giant stars. And is there a moon? I think there's moons in there as well, which I think would be really fun with this. So I don't think I want like the giant stars, but I think I want like the neck. There's another size down from the giant stars in it. So I'm going to pick those out and then use the like other kind of smaller bits around that to give us a nice kind of sparkly sort of vibe. So to stick that down, I'm going to go in with trusty glitter primer again. I think I'm going to do it like in here. I think that's kind of the vibe I want. So I'm going to take that glitter primer and we're just going to dabble that in this little area in here, kind of where my dark circles are. It's a great way if you've got really dark circles that you find hard to cover. This is a great way to cover them. Probably going to speed through this a little bit because I'll have to like dig around and try and find the size of stars and everything that I want. Okay, so a bit weird, but once everything is on, that's kind of the placement I want. Once the lashes and everything are on and I'll have a lip on, I don't know what kind of lip I want, this will all look great. So I'm going to jump off, going to do the other eye, finish off my face, and I'll be back to you in a sec. Okay guys, so this is how I have finished off my look. I am in love. I'm feeling all my mermaid vibes right now. So let me go through everything that I used on my face. So to finish off the eyes, all I did was popped my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Ultraviolet, just in the waterline because it kind of matches that like periwinkle tone. It's a little bit deeper, but it matches really well and still gives us a nice smoky effect on the lower lash. My mascara then is my Soap and Glory Thick and Fast Mascara, just on my top and my bottom lashes. And then for my lashes, I think in a few of my recent videos I forgot to mention my lashes, I don't know why, but they're always listed down below anyway. I use my House of Lashes Midnight Luxe lashes, that's what the box looks like off them, Midnight Luxe. And they're beautiful and wispy and like kind of wing the eye out a little bit, which I think is really cute. Onto cheeks then. For my contour, I went in with my MAC Mineralized Blush in Humor Me, which is kind of like a contour bronzer kind of thing, just to sculpt out the face a little bit more. My blush then is Old Reliable, my Benefit Dandelion blush. I always love this blush with like blue green sort of tones on the eyes. I just think it goes really well. It's quite soft. It doesn't look like anything in the palette or the pan, but when it's on it gives us a nice little bit of a pink flush. And then as I said I was going to use, I went in with my Space Age Skywalker highlighter from Kaleidos. That's what I use on my inner corner, and it's what's on at the tops of my cheeks just to tie it all together. Onto lips then, I used my MAC Plum lip pencil. I wanted a nude that still had that kind of slight pink, little bit of like a lavendery kind of tone to it. So I used my Plum lip liner, which is like a plummy brown. I filled in my whole lip with that as well. So I lined it, filled it all in. And then I went in with my Old Reliable as well. My MAC Flesh Pot lipstick, just pale nude, just over top of it. It's mostly, the tone of this is mostly the gloss and the pencil. The lipstick's just there to lighten it all up to bring it back to a nude. And then the gloss that I use is actually a limited edition gloss, but I'm sure there's lots out there that look like this. This is the MAC lip gloss that came out for the Christmas collection last year, and it is Frills and Chills. So that's him there, and it just gives a hint of a mauve over top of everything. So that's everything that's on my face, and that is our third look using the Norns palette from Oden'S, and the fourth look overall so far because of my first impressions. I love this palette. I think, as I said, I wish there was like a couple more mattes in there, but I still think it's such a versatile palette. That's why I did 3 looks, because I knew I had a few different ideas that I wanted to do. There is some shades I didn't get to play around with, like the shade Self, and oh, that's the only one. I played with everything. Oh no, Realism. The kind of brown up here, which, I mean, it's brown, so but you could do a very cute brown smoky eye with this. You could do like brown smoky eye with a pop of another one of the like weird colors in this palette. I just think it's such a cool palette to have so many different textures. Like I'm gonna count them, give me a sec. Like you have about 9 different textures in here, between metallics, between like chunkier foiled kind of textures, almost like a glittery kind of formula, satin sort of finish, sequined you've got like a satin metallic, just like, I don't know, there's just so many So many different textures in there to get so many different kinds of looks, and I'm in love. So I want to know down in the comments, you can guess what I'm going to ask you already. Which look was your favorite? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I think because I added glitter into a few of these looks, it kind of amps it up a little bit for me, because I love this. I loved my second look as well because it was very like vampy, bit old Hollywood kind of vampy. And then the first look was like a little bit spooky because it was purple and orange, because that gives me Halloween vibes and I'm in that kind of mood right now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which look I prefer. And then there was the first impression look. I mean, you can let me know down below which look was your favorite between the first impressions and the 3 looks in this video. Let me know what you thought down below. If you did like this video, give me a big thumbs up down below. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support, get me around to more people, and also let me know that you liked the video, and I will continue to do many more. Also, don't forget to subscribe down below to see many more videos coming up. We have got so many palettes to play with, like so many palettes, like really so many palettes to play with. And also tag videos. We have got ranking videos that I'm gonna film a ranking video straight after this. Like just a lot. And I'd say towards the end of the year, like getting into the later half of the year, I will be probably doing my declutter series, so stay tuned for that. And as I said in the beginning of this video, my Instagram is linked down below, where I will be posting all the up close eye pictures and full face pictures of this look and every other look that I did in this video, and all my looks that I do when I film them. Also, my TikTok is linked down below there, so I will be doing all my weird transitions over there, and maybe get back into doing some tutorials on that. I don't know. I'll think about it. So I think that is everything from me, guys, so I will see you in the next video.